was our first date. I can't believe I got a second. And obviously there was more after that. And now we're married.
Well, kind of circling back to what you were saying about your kids cooking in there. To me, it's like he's got a dog in the race now. Like he's participating in this. And so why wouldn't you be more engaged in the process than if mom or dad always cooks and it's disgusting and you're like,
it's so much fun to do together too.
Yeah.
And because I normally
he owns it, right? Because he does. I get to do this and do that. And I learned how to do this. And so
I like when we're in the kitchen, I call him chef. And I'm like, I told him, like, my job is to make sure that you don't undercook the chicken, right? To make sure that you don't be like, oh, let's add this. I'm like, ooh, I wouldn't do that. But I was like, and I help him with the knife work, right? And stuff like, a few little things. But, or the timing. That's the thing. I mean, that's the hardest part, right? When you get like 4 things going.
Yeah, there's a lot to cooking, even simple meals,
But he'll start like divvying out. He's like, hey, can you start this? And I'm like, yes, chef. And I'll start chopping it up. And then I'll be like, would you like me? I'll like to start the conversation. Would you like me to go ahead and get your plates ready for you? He's like, oh, yes, that'd be great. Thank you. And then he'll like sit down and, it's also nice because we, as the kids get older, and how old are yours?
15 and 17.
Okay. It's hard to get a family to all sit down at the same time, right? I mean, just life in general sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Because you're like, oh, wait, no, so-and-so's got practice or, you're always going different directions and stuff. Maybe not the same with homeschool, right? But
I can relate.
Right.
I've been through all of that. So, yeah.
So it's been so nice because the effort that he puts in, I don't want to relinquish that to like, I don't mind sitting in front of the coffee table and eating. We'll have movie night and we'll eat at the coffee table. Cool, whatever, it's fine. But I'm like, no, this needs a little pomp and stance, right? So we'll set the table, which then gets the 6-year-old involved. Because I'm like, you get to put out the silverware and everything. And then I've also stepped it up because I'm like, oh, this is nice. I didn't have to cook. Yeah. So I'm like, I pick out a bottle of wine. My wife and I will sit down.
I'll let you, you get to do this instead of, hey, get over here and get this done.
Yeah, it's really nice. Which my wife pointed out the other day. She's like, you really need to start cooking with Lucy. And I was like, why? She's like, not to be sexist, that like women need to learn how to cook. Okay, but everyone should learn how to cook. And she was pointing out, she's like, and I didn't think about it. She's like, you do all the cooking.
Lucy doesn't need to learn how to cook. She's going to join the Air Force. So we give her like
she'll have lobster
steak every day.
Well, she pointed out, she's like, your daughter only makes ramen noodles, which is fun. I don't care. I'm like,
There's a million ways to make
noodles. But she's like, you need to include her in this so she understands how to like do other things too. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. That's true. Because the other side of it is, and I know that's how it always is, if you're the kind of guy that fixes the car and changes the tires and everything else, your daughter doesn't necessarily learn that, right?
Well, I think too, it's kind of interesting because every kid is different, right? And it's easy for us as parents too, when one kid has an aptitude for something, you just you're like, okay, this kid's got it down. Let's spend some time here. And
right.
Not that
you don't necessarily include the other ones,
but it's like, wow, I can see, if we push the education on this stuff, they could go really far in this.
Yeah.
This thing. So
each one of my kids has their own affinities.
You got to kind of spread, as parents, we got to kind of spread it out a little bit and go, okay, well, everybody needs to know this. Take it as far as you want to go. And then,
which I think was nice because originally Ethan was super interested in baking. Baking, like cakes, cookies, whatever. And I suck at it. I don't know why.
How are you good at cooking, but you can't bake?
So I kind of come back to this. It's like baking is more science.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
It's much more precise. You can't start a cookie recipe and be like, I want to add a little more brown sugar today. I mean, you can, but like that might change the texture, the consistency. It might not bake right. It might burn. It might.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just going to throw it up, 50 more degrees, or I'm going to leave it in another 10 minutes.
Or I'm going to start it and I'm going to go, oh, the sauce is a little, I should have stirred that more. I do a lot of soups. That's one of my favorite things, which are very forgiving, right? And I jokingly.
If it's too salty, you just add more, liquid. If it's
right. And it's like when you bake a cake, it's done.
Much more forgiving, right?
Yeah. You put it in the oven, whatever's coming out of there is coming out of there.
You're not going to be able to change it.
No. My wife makes cornbread every year she'll do it for other things, but like for Thanksgiving, she likes to make her own cornbread dressing from scratch, does the cornbread. And I'm like, you can just buy the packets. And she's like, don't ever say that again. We buy the cornmeal, the sugar. For like the first 3 or 4 years of our marriage, we made, some years we got lucky and only made like 2 or 3 batches. Other years it was like 3 or 4 batches until we got it right. And so, which luckily enough, cornbread's cheap. I mean, there's the reason why in the South everybody eats cornbread, because it was like, oh, this is like trash food you can just throw together. But like it had to be perfect because she was trying to match her like grandfather's cornbread. So like on the years he would make it, then she would be like making it at home to try to like, dial it in. And she's finally got it. So yeah, for Thanksgiving, you come over, eat some cornbread or not stuffing, dressing. See, it really, she hates it because
I'll bring some packets for her.
Well, so this is great.
I'm told I can't get uninvited at this point, so I'm going to really start testing it. Yeah.
After like 5 years of her stressing over making this dressing, I always get it wrong. I always say stuffing because I like stuffing. My family's from Ohio. Stuffing is what I grew up.
Are you stuffing it in the bird or
no?
Its own
but
thing?
I make this like I want like the breadcrumb stuffing, right? I'll just buy like a thing of Stouffer's. I don't really care. I just like the stuffing side.
Stovetop stuffing.
So after like 5 years, her grandfather comes over for Thanksgiving. He's come over like several times, right? And one year she's like really watching, and he takes a bite. He's like, "Oh, it's pretty good." And she goes, "No, I really." And she's like, "Would you mind like, can I get some help?" And he's like, "Yeah, next year, we'll do Thanksgiving at my house. Come over early. I'll help you make it." And she's like, "Okay, this is awesome. I'm gonna finally get it down." She walked in, Jones, and he pulled out 2 packets of cornbread, like thing. And she goes, "The hell is that?" And he goes, "I always make it with the packets." And I'm in the background. I'm like, "I'm leaving."
Witnesses.
No. The look on her face was like when kids find out that who that comes down the chimney is not real. Like
who are you talking about?
All the color drained out of her face, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I don't ever start from scratch. That's way too hard.
I have to be crazy to do that."
So then the next year, I was like, "So are we gonna?" She's like, "Don't finish that sentence." I'm like, "I'll go get the corn. We're doing it from scratch still." So
if y'all are really hardcore, you grow the corn yourself in your backyard.
Yeah,
and mill it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don't give her any ideas. That's the one.
That sounds like real cornbread.
That's the one meal. Like she will pull out all the stops, and we normally do like 2 Thanksgivings because like she'll do one for family and stuff. And I don't have any family to do Thanksgiving. My family doesn't celebrate the holidays, so like we jokingly say we do 2. We do Friendsgiving and then we do Thanksgiving. So we'll do Friendsgiving. Like back in the day, it was like Skip would come over, and because he didn't have anybody to do Thanksgiving with, so like he'll do Thanksgiving. And I'll invite over a couple of my old fire buddies or something. So I have like a family tradition of mine. So, but then the downside is now those 4 or 5 batches turn into like 6 batches of cornbread. And then, you got to do ham. Oh, well, okay, we got to do another turkey. Mm-hmm. I did do a spaycock one year. That was awesome. Have you ever done that?
What?
I have had it. I've never done it.
What'd you say?
I'm gonna fix his mic real quick while you're talking. No, you're good.
Okay.
No, what did you? A spaycock?
Yeah. So
what is that?
It's a process. It's not a.
But when I do,
in my face, so you can't even.
When I do, hopefully one day get invited to your friend's game again. I'll say
we haven't done one in a few years.
Oscar. Oh, it's been a while.
It's been a while. We because her family is large, and so like by the time
we went like 2 years ago, I thought.
That's what I'm saying. It's been a couple of years.
2 years ago is not. Well, okay. I guess technically it is a couple by definition.
No, we did. Okay, so a turkey. It's stupid that I'm explaining it this way, but okay, like the normal turkey, right? Like the whole bird, and you put it in the pan, and it sits on the thing, and like you cook it in all the juices, and you put like the carrots and onions and whatever around it, right? Celery, whatever. Okay, a spaycock turkey is when you take the turkey and you flip it on its breast down, and then you cut it and you lay it flat. So instead of being like a giant ball, it is a flat bird that's only about yay thick. And so if you're looking at it, you've got like 2 breasts, 2 wings, and 2 legs.
You have all those anyway.
Well, right, but it's laid flat. And then a lot of people
think of cutting a circle and then laying the circle out flat. So
yes, yeah. And then like this one, I smoked in the smoker. And so the trick is that you get a more even cook because like with a giant bird, you got like the top part's a little warmer, the
Right.
bottom
You
part.
got different thicknesses there, and
Yeah.
cooking at the same temperature, it's tricky. Just like a brisket or something where you have different
Exactly.
thicknesses.
Exactly. So, but I made it and she was like, it's okay. And I was like, oh, come on. She's like, not the Thanksgiving turkey. Oh, so I don't do this
It's not
fake
the
hot turkey.
Norman Rockwell.
That, yeah, she wants the turkey. And I'm like, that makes sense. But oh, we have a visitor. Oh, well, you guys talk for a moment and I'll be right back. Go ahead. You're good.
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, we gotta stop talking about food. I'm getting hungry now.
I know, right?
Did Israel? Were you in the military?
I was in the Air Force.
You're in the Air Force too?
Yeah.
How long were you in there?
I joined in 96, got out in 2000, so one term. Well, I joined the reserves afterwards. So
Yeah.
I was stationed at Tinker for my reserves,
Where's Tinker at?
Oklahoma City.
Okay, I was thinking Oklahoma. I used to know all the bases because I did finance.
Oh, okay.
And so people did their TDYs and stuff. And
Right.
I kind of had it
And so you
memorized
probably,
at
yeah,
that point.
I was really more just familiar with F-15 bases because I was an F-15 crew chief. And
I
so,
got you.
because there's a whole lot of bases out there. So
Yeah, well, I don't know there's as many as there used to be. But yeah, I did finance and I was at Biloxi and then Boise, Mountain Home. Well, it's not in Boise, but it's close to Boise.
yeah, in Idaho, yeah.
Yeah.
That was an F-15 base. Quite a few of my colleagues were stationed there for a while. So,
Yeah,
and everybody that I knew that was stationed there really liked it.
I didn't like it because I was just, in hindsight, it's like, what are you doing? You never do that.
So my doc just texted me. He goes, "Are you at the lounge tonight?" I think he wanted to come have a beer, and I was
Oh.
like, "Actually, I'm shooting my podcast." So I was
Yeah.
sending him a picture.
So when I
Sorry, I was like off camera doing a selfie.
Oh,
I just
good.
realized that nobody was like, "What are you doing over there?" I don't have like pants off or anything. I'm just taking a selfie.
You never do that. When I was in tech school, I originally got orders to go to Cannon in New Mexico.
In New Mexico, yeah. I've heard that place. I heard that was the armpit of that.
Yeah. And
Wait,
so,
where?
It's in Cannon Air Force. I don't even know if it
I
was
was
supposed to got.
Canton. I'm thinking
No,
like
Cannon.
Cannon,
Like
bang.
it was supposed to have been
Oh.
closed. Like when I was in, I don't know if it's closed yet or not, but it was. I drove by it one time.
No, they
years
probably
later.
didn't close it. They probably just turned it into an Air National Guard.
Describing it as an armpit is really being generous.
Really?
But anyway, one of my dorm mates in tech school got orders for. No, it wasn't tech school. Yeah, it was. He got tech school. He got orders for
Tech
Mountain
school's
Home.
like AIT, right? It's like
Yes, where you learn how to do it.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, so he got orders for Mountain Home, and I had been to Idaho before,
Oh,
but I went through the north part of Idaho, which is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful, and so I just assumed, well, it's Idaho. It's all the same. So I was like, yeah, I'll trade orders with you. And so he ended up going to Cannon, and I went to Biloxi. What am I? I'm sorry. I went to Mountain Home.
I was like, wow, what? Well, that sounds about like the Air Force. Yeah, here's you're going. No, you're not.
No. We were in Biloxi.
What? Yeah.
And
Here's your dream sheet.
Yeah.
Keep dreaming.
exactly. And I went to Mountain Home, and we're driving to the base. I was like, okay, when's it gonna start getting green? Because North Idaho's nice. It's green. It's like, when's it gonna start getting green?
Yeah, if the
And we
fields
pull
are
up
green.
to it, and it's like Utah. It's like there's nothing. I mean, there's mountains and stuff, but so I didn't like it just because I had expectations of it being more like
Colorado or
something like that. But in hindsight, I was like, man, I was just stupid.
Well,
Like, it wasn't bad.
I think most of the guys that I knew that were there, it might not have been so much the base itself, but because it was within driving distance of a lot of outdoor stuff. You know, they were all hunters and stuff like that, so it was like easy access to those kinds of things, activities and stuff. So
yeah,
I think that was the big driver. But I have no idea as far as their mission or anything like that, how stressful it was there, but it was.
wasn't stressful for finance.
Yeah.
I know that. But no, towards the end when I left there, I don't know what it's like now, but they were
How
there was-
long have you been out?
oh geez, it's been like 20 years almost now.
Okay.
But there was a focus on making it like a super base. I don't know if it ever met that if fruitioned into that or not. Because when I first got there,
What is a super base?
Like Langley or something like that.
Langley
where you have a whole
or
lot of, this is
Fort Hood,
huge.
like a
yeah,
big,
it's a big,
yeah.
there's a lot going on there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's
Like
just a whole
more of
lot.
hub for things.
Yeah, and so they were trying to do that, and this was right around like Iraqi freedom and everything. So like everybody was deploying, and it seemed like things were really taking off. But that's about the time I left there. So I don't know. In
Where'd you
hindsight,
go to tech school?
that was in Biloxi also.
Oh, in Biloxi.
At
Okay.
Keesler.
Keesler. Yeah.
Which this was before I don't remember the name, but the hurricane that came through, mid 2000s. I can't remember the name of it. It was a hurricane that came through, and supposedly I think it kind of wiped out a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's like now.
Yeah.
But it was nice. Like there was a nice beach that had like sand imported from Florida and stuff, and that was the place to be. Like Biloxi was nice. I don't know. Mountain Home wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Definitely better than Cannon or Minot. Why not Minot?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So were you just in for 4 years then? Okay.
Yeah.
Minot, where they have the B-52s, right? That's like the.
I don't even know, man. It's out in like South or North Dakota.
Yeah, that's where it is.
It's out in the middle of
It's one of the
nowhere.
it's one of the nuclear sites. So they got the like standby. I think like the stealth bombers are based up there.
Oh, you didn't hear
they're out of Whiteman. Stealth bombers.
Ah, okay. So maybe it's the B-52s that are up there then.
I think you're right about Minot just being a nuclear base or something like that.
Yeah, it's like way up there
can't
for a
confirm
reason.
nor deny that, so.
It's a. Have you been to Minot? It was always kind of like whispered as like the most depressing base stateside.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's like nothing up there. Like people are like, if you get stationed there, you're so far from everything.
My sense is that it's bases are kind of one or the other. They're either out in the middle of nowhere or they're right in the middle of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like I had friends that were at Fort Hood and they were like, they hated it. I was like, why? They're like, because it doesn't really feel like a base. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, well, it's so big that you're not really on base. You're just like in a city.
You never really know if you're on base or off base because you're like in a city. So
exactly.
If you didn't know that you went out of a gate, it's just like
you're just suddenly at like downtown because you're right there. Which is kind of cool. I guess I understand that probably why so many people like to like do training and stuff there because like if you do get stationed in the middle of nowhere and you come down here, you're like, wow, we're like in the big metropolis of everything.
Yeah.
Mountain Home had the air base had a Burger King.
Yeah.
That was. Or you could drive 20 minutes into town and maybe find something.
I was stationed overseas. I was at RAF Lakenheath in England.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I remember when we got our Burger King and our Taco Bell and
yeah. Did you have the Pizza Hut or the Domino's?
No, we didn't have either one of those. We had Church's fried chicken.
Okay.
And we had a Burger King, and then Mildenhall, which was about 15 minutes away from us. They were a heavies base. They, I think, 141s and 130s. They got a Taco Bell, and I remember when that opened, it was like for months. It was just like a stream of cars.
Yeah,
because it's
a little taste of home.
It's like
yeah.
That was the one thing I hated most about. Like I loved my time overseas. I was never in the military overseas. Like I just vacationed. I lived in southern France with my brother for a while, the photographer, and loved it. I hate England. It's nothing against the English. I don't like their food. I'll tell you that much. Their food sucks.
You don't like beans and toast?
No. There's a joke online from one of the like famous foodies. I can't remember if it's Anthony Bourdain or something. He's like, of all the Michelin star restaurants that are in the United Kingdom, they're all French. Like there is no
English cuisine.
Yeah. Right. And so for me, when being a foodie, but when I went over there, I told people, I'm like, that was the worst trip I had because I spent a lot of money to go. It's a we stayed in London, very expensive. And I spent 8 hours on a plane to get off the plane and everybody spoke English. And I was like, yes, it's different. You know, the only like really cool thing that I loved about it was like the cars were on the wrong side of the road.
Weirdos.
Yeah. And I was like, other than that, I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that meme? And it's like,
but you were there for 8 hours?
No. Like I was on a plane. Like it took 8 hours to get there.
Oh, how long were you in England?
I thought you were in France.
So I've been to Europe several
Your
times.
story
Three.
has holes
I've been,
in it.
Yeah, no, I've been
Inconsistency.
Inconsistent.
I've been to Europe 3 times. The first time I went to Europe, I was 14 or so. I think I was 14 years old, and I went with a group from church. It was not a missionary trip by any means, but it was myself, my brother Ben, a friend of ours that was older, a single older guy, and a married couple. So there was like the 5 of us, I guess, whatever. And we rented a bus, and we landed in Europe, and we went like just on a driving trip, and which I do not recommend. Everybody's like, "Oh, it'd be so cool," to like you don't see anything. Like I mean, we were there for like 2.5 weeks, and it's all highway.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, we went and we stopped at like Zurich, Switzerland, and like I got the patch, and I bought a chocolate bar, but I'm like, we weren't there, when we finally like got to Paris. Yes, we like turned in the car and we spent a couple days in Paris before we flew home, but it's not enough time to see anything. Just go pick one place and go. But so I did a driving trip, so I got to see like, I don't know. Oh God, we went everywhere, but that first trip. Then I went back with my parents. That was my second time to Europe. We went back and we stayed outside of Victoria Station in London. And that was cool. It was a neat trip, but that was the one I'm talking about that I was like, I was too young to drink. And so like, that's kind of the thing in England. You go to the pubs and you're like, that's kind of the culture thing.
Well, it's the community center. The pubs are the
Right.
That's where everything happens.
So like all I remember was going to the museums, which were really cool. I'm a museum buff. That was great. And then the food sucked. So I was like, okay, we came home. And then I went back with my brother and parents for, we stayed for a little over a month in southern France. And that was my favorite trip to Europe.
Yeah.
Because that was small town, country people, drove around. We had such an amazing time because of the people. Like that was, and the food, and it was such a great trip.
While we were over there, that's where I met my wife. She was in the Air Force as well. And we got married.
I didn't know she was in the Air Force too.
Yeah. That's where we met.
That's very cool.
And actually got married in Scotland.
Oh, beautiful.
My last name being Robertson. I'm Scottish. The Clan Donachie is the surname.
Do you have a tartan?
I do.
That's awesome.
I got married in it.
Oh, that's so cool.
She ordered some Robertson tartan.
Yeah.
And made her wedding dress out of it, like a medieval style.
How cool is that?
Man.
And got married at Gretna Green, which is like the Las Vegas of England because it's right over the border. The story is back in the day, you could get married at 16, whereas in England, you had to be 17 to get married. And so a lot of kids would go over there to
elope in Scotland.
And so the blacksmith was the one who married you. So you got married over the anvil.
What?
Very cool.
Yeah. So it's this whole kind of thing. And we had a piper. He piped us in, and it was really cool.
That's awesome.
But kind of to your point, when we got married, we made a mission not to live on base. We wanted off base housing. In fact, we were.
That's like why 90% of people in the Army get married.
Yeah. No, that was the thing in the Air Force too. Yeah. Get off base.
It's all this money. I can't tell
I was a weekend warrior, so that
people got married out of Texas. I don't know how it was at your place, but
you like meet somebody and you're like, hey, you want to get off base together? Like
meal to meal,
But the thing is,
you look kind of good.
A lot of times, like they would get married and you're off base.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't necessarily stay married. Because once you kind of make that list, you're well, not even I mean, once you make that list, you're pretty much off of it. Like you didn't have to go back to a dorm, which is dorms weren't bad. So in hindsight, it's like, why would you?
I guess
Ours
weren't bad.
Fort Hood was crap, but that's not Air Force.
Yeah.
But so we lived 45 minutes off of base. I didn't want to. I left. Out of all the branches, the Air Force is probably the most like civilian work out of all the branches. But I just wanted to leave the military after my shift was over.
You wanted to be able to have a home life and a military life.
I wanted to kind of embrace the culture. I just want. I'm here. what other opportunity am I going to have to come over here?
How long were you in England, stationed in
About
England?
3.5 years.
And that's after getting married or just total?
Total.
Total. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. But that's a long time.
Yeah.
You can
2
really
years
assimilate
married.
to the culture in 3
Yes.
years.
Well, and so we were about 45 minutes off base. We had a house out there in a little village. And the way that villages are over there, it's like you have a building for everything. Like
Yeah.
you have
There's
a butcher,
the
and
coffee
then
shop,
you have
the pub.
right,
Yeah.
right. It's not, you don't have a lot of these general stores, right?
Right.
It's all kind of segregated out to individual kinds of, things. And so, of course, we had a pub 2 blocks down and we
That's
would
cool.
go to, and that was the hub of the town. We
Right.
went down there, and that's where you met and socialized and all of that kind of stuff. And so we made it a point to, like, every weekend or when we were on leave or whatever, to go somewhere we'd never been before, to drive, just almost like throw a dart on the map.
It's such a
and go.
small country that you can literally go
There's
see
so
the
much
whole
stuff,
thing in
and
a
there's
weekend.
so much history there too,
Yeah.
and there's just so much to experience. And it's amazing too. As small as it is, you can go to the East Coast and the West Coast, and it's completely different, like
Right.
just the way that they live. We went down to Southampton, where they launched the Titanic, which is really interesting. There's not a lot of Titanic stuff there. Because its history is so much more than the Titanic. They
Right.
have a maritime museum there and a small little snippet of the Titanic there, but they have all this other nautical stuff there. Parts of the fort that were originally built there, some of the walls are still exist. England is they are tied hugely to their history. Like they don't tear anything down, right?
Mhm.
And it was the same in Italy. When we went to Italy, it was the same thing. Like we went to Rome.
There's a
and
reason
like
why the
you have-
Colosseum is still there.
yeah, you've got the Colosseum, and then you got a Pizza Hut next to it, right? Like it's just like there's just stuff everywhere. They're just constantly digging and finding new stuff all the time, and so it's
That's like in
because
Paris.
there's
Every
so
time
much
they
history
dig, they
there.
find like a mass grave or something.
yeah,
Whoop,
they find something.
can't finish building
Yeah,
this till
don't
we
stop that. Yeah.
do all the archaeological work. I think what was really cool, so French culture being slightly different, but I didn't like Paris. Well, I liked Paris when I went a very long time ago. It's a very different city now, as I've been told. I liked the countryside more. I think that's just from me being a country boy.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the people, but I thought something that was really interesting for me is that they don't have pubs. That's not like a thing. They don't have wine bars.
What do they have in France?
Restaurants.
No, people's houses.
Oh.
It's
Wow.
very, very like you meet a shopkeeper and you
They
know,
invite you to their house.
they do. And they're like, oh my gosh, you're from Texas. You should come join us for dinner. And you come over for dinner. And then they entertain you. It's just a little different. But by entertain, it's not like you show up and eat. You show up early and you help them cook. And like, it's really
It's
fun.
like a part of the family. Like,
Yeah.
come on over, and we're
It's,
gonna.
it's such a magical, like Southern France is such a magical place
I'd rather
for
just
me.
go to a pub, honestly.
Well, yeah.
Come over to your house and cook for you? No, I'm just going to go to a pub.
As an extrovert, I loved it. It was such a cool social bonding experience. But the neat thing is, and the Pope set this up, God knows how many hundreds of years ago. But, you were talking earlier about like Hillsborough, Itasca, Bynum, all these little towns, and how they're kind of dead now, right? Well, the Pope, very, very long ago, wanted to ensure that that didn't happen. So he was like, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take, for example, Hillsborough. We're going to, we're going to take Hillsborough. We're going to make it the county seat, basically, right? Which we are. So every Sunday, the market will be in Hillsborough. All the food vendors, the wine vendors, which that was the coolest thing ever. These guys had these like Transit Connect vans that had like wine vats in it. And they sold wine by the liter. And so you could just show up with a water bottle or a bladder bag or an empty bottle, whatever it was, and they sold it by the liter. So you'd be like, oh, I have 2 750 milliliter wine
Like
bottles.
going into Quick Trip and you can just filling it up. Right?
Absolutely. And they would just be like, oh, 2 bottles? Well, that's 1.5 liters, which is why wine still is in milliliters because of Europe. And they would just like fill it up and they'd shove a new cork in it. And there you go. Off you wear it. And it was so cheap. The joke in France is drink the wine. It's cheaper than the water. At least when I went, that was true. You could buy a bottle of wine refilled. Okay, you can buy a new one, but you could buy a bottle of wine cheaper than you could buy a bottle of water at the gas station or whatever. So every Sunday, Hillsborough would have the market. But then there were these spokes off the wheel. And that's what they called it. It was this wagon wheel design that the Pope had. So Monday, the market would be in Itasca. Tuesday, the market would be in Grandview. Wednesday, the market would be in Bynum. Thursday, down at West. Friday, Peoria. Saturday, Whitney. Sunday, back in Hillsborough. And so to make sure that these little towns didn't die, it forced everybody in Hillsborough, you had to go to Whitney every Saturday. If you wanted to buy groceries on a Tuesday, you had to go over here. And it was really cool because my little town that I lived in was Montpellier. Wednesday was market day. My God, that place turned into downtown Hillsborough on a festival weekend. The roads were closed. You're like, how the hell does anybody do anything? And then the rest of the week was a freaking ghost town. No one, their shops weren't open. There was no coffee shop. There wasn't anything. Because I remember going to like the post office and I'm like, where can you eat? And they'd be like, it's
Get off in an hour. You come to my house.
it was like,
come cook for me.
They're like, it's Tuesday. No, they're like, it's Tuesday. You need to drive to Itasca. That's where all the food is.
Well, the advantage.
And you would like buy your chicken in the morning and they would cook it all day. And then you would go pick it up after work and take it home and eat it. And the paella, that was my favorite.
But as a small town, as a small business owner, that guarantees you have somewhere to sell your wares every day of the week.
Absolutely. It was the coolest thing.
Because as it is right now, like I can go to like on Saturdays or something.
Yeah.
But if you have something every day of the week, that's a big deal.
It's kind of like food trucks. Like a food truck only exists because it doesn't make sense to make enough money in one spot.
Yeah.
Right? It like I jokingly say about Hillsborough, and I love our downtown. It is really kind of picking up, but I'm so glad that the lounge is doing well. There's several restaurants, but people open a restaurant and then they're like, wow, there's just not enough business in this town. I'm like, guys, there's only like 5 or 6 places in this town. Okay. I don't go out to eat 5 or 6 times a week. Okay. If you're lucky, I'm going out like once or twice a month.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But if it's once or twice a month, I'm probably not eating the same place. So I'm going to go see you. And then about 3 months later, I'm going to come back to see you. Right. Because I'm going to try some different stuff. But it's kind of that, like, I go to Ace Hardware here in town, right? Mm-hmm. Always got to buy something. My wife wants me to paint something or whatever, right? They have the Chick-fil-A truck that comes through. I'm not going to lie. Every time that I know that truck's in town.
You're scheduled to the Chick-fil-A truck.
I asked my wife, I'm like, hey, this weekend, got anything you want me to work on around the house? She's like, that would be great. Let's go pick up this and that. I'll go. I don't mind. And it's not because, like, I love Chick-fil-A. Because it's something different.
Yeah.
And every time we go out of town.
Well, Chick-fil-A here in Hill County in general is like, like the holy grail of like eating out. Like
what's the seafood Tajin, right? They do like the crawfish and stuff and shrimp. And every time they're in town, whenever we leave Hillsborough, my wife and I, we have this rule. If we go anywhere out of town, if we're up visiting her family up in Mineral Wells or whatever, if we're going out to dinner, we're going to grab lunch. I have one rule. We don't eat anywhere that's in town. So no Taco Bell, no McDonald's, no Burger King, right? I'm like, I want to go pick any of, you want to go to Long John Silver's? Let's roll the dice on whether or not we're going to be sick all weekend. I don't care. But she makes fun of me because I'm like, I get excited when I see like an A&W root beer. I'm like, yes. She's like, oh, why? I'm like, because we don't have that. Me at a Taco Casa, I'm like a fangirl because I'm like, ooh, something other than Hillsborough. I don't really care. Like,
I legitimately wonder who keeps Long John Silver's alive.
I do. I actually I'm going to be honest. I really love that place.
You know what? I love it too. Here's the thing.
You like the crunchies they put in them?
I do. So good. That's the best part.
I grew up going there. And I would put so much vinegar on my fish.
Yes.
So good. And then the town I live in, well, Cleburne, the main town closest, they closed theirs. And like for the longest time, I was like, I need to go there and eat one day. And then they closed it. It's like, no.
Oh, man.
But I do like it. I do have fond memories of it.
Yeah.
Not that they put toys in their Happy Meals or anything like that. But I don't know, man.
Okay, maybe I should take it back. That was the only British food that I legitimately love.
Fish and chips?
Fish and chips.
That is so good.
But you have to go to a real place. Because there are so many like tourist traps.
Really, it was
they make it for Americans.
It was more the street vendors that had the best.
Yes.
Like
also taco trucks of Europe.
So like
Kebabs. I thought it was like an Indian thing.
It is. Well, it is.
Dude,
but
you talking about the
it's
donas?
English Indian. So
You talking about the doner kebabs?
I'm talking about like the you
pita
have the
bread,
pita bread,
yes.
you have the lamb and beef,
Oh
and you
my
have
God.
the
Stop talking, you make me
Yeah, we need to stop talking about food.
No,
honestly.
that hands down was my favorite thing in all of Europe. They called them doner kebabs in Paris. And it's like a pita bread taco. And they had this like rotating sword in front of a heating element. And they just put like chicken, beef, lamb, pork, chicken, beef, lamb, pork, chicken, and just stacked it. And so then when you go up to the order, it just turns. So this little heating thing.
Heating element on the back that's just like, and it's just like dripping.
All the juices running together. And they would take a pita and they take a knife and they just shave it.
Oh, I've seen that. Like the
Into
really
the
thin
thing.
inside.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they would be like,
Like
peppers and
cucumber
onions?
sauce.
See, I thought that was
Yes.
I thought it was the Indian thing. I didn't realize
it's
that
a
was
weird, like, bastard of like, because I've seen it with tzatziki sauce. I've seen it with
well, it's a Middle
mustard.
Eastern thing as well. So
Yeah, and it's
Wow.
weird, but they call them donas, doner kebabs, and I'm like, is it Australian? Like, I'm so
they
confused
call
here.
them kebabs where
So,
we were, but
let me
Yeah.
let me ask you this: you regret getting out of the military?
I don't. I look at the military as it was good for what it was when it was.
When did you get out? Sorry,
I got out in
missed that.
2000.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just
They're
wanted to-
roughly like just before, like 99, at the end of 99.
That's
You got
that's
out right around the time I got in. It was like
That's a
like
different
late
military
2001.
back then.
It
too.
was. Well, and it was in transition even when I was in. Like we saw a lot of, like even the 4 years that I was in, I saw a lot of change because it was, you had, the Clinton administration had come in and it just completely changed the military landscape.
I don't think people understand how much it
downsizing at the
changes.
time. Right. It was downsizing at the time, and we found that
I'm sorry, the Air Force was downsizing
military in general
in 2000.
in 96.
96.
96
Okay,
from
okay.
96 2000 there was some downsizing where we felt the mission had to stay the same,
Mhm.
but we had to wear a lot more hats. People were getting
Yeah.
out and there weren't replacements.
That's interesting you say that because when I got out, downsizing was the word also.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder where it's at now.
No, it's very cyclical, guys. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, people, I don't think
Well,
understand
yeah,
that
it
every
ebbs- it
4
ebbs and
years.
flows.
Can you imagine working for a company, any company, the company I work for, you work for, where every 4 years you have no idea what direction the company's going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm not trying to say anybody is, I'm not getting political, that somebody's a warmonger or not or whatever.
We're over an hour. You can get political.
But every 4 years, your company could completely change directions.
Well, you
Yeah.
can kind of see that in the corporate world too, when you get new CEOs and things like that, and they want to take the company in a different direction,
Sure.
or the board wants to take it in a different direction because there's always, anytime you have
there's a hiring or
stockholders,
firing
there's always
phase. And
there's this kind of back and forth, right?
Right.
Like how much do we want to hold to the family values that started the company as opposed to the
that's a
stockholders?
good point. You're right. They do. I didn't think of it that way, but you're right. It
but-
really does change.
But the military is far and above
It's
the
such a
biggest employer
machine.
in the United States, right? It
it's
has
like
more
the U.S.
employees than-
military and then Walmart. Like,
Yeah.
seriously,
Like
I think Walmart's the second largest employer in the United States.
Well,
Now.
maybe it is. I don't know.
55,000 employees or something like that. Oh no, 155,000.
55,000? It's not that
55,000.
bad.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Had me
Well,
like
that's
that.
huge.
I'm gonna look it up while you're talking.
You're like millions. But yeah, it is interesting. I would say it's small incremental changes, but over time, it's like turning the Titanic. You don't just
Yeah.
flip it on its head. It takes some momentum, and you've got to,
Well,
it's a process. But
I hear them talking about basic training in like the Army, right? Or even the Marine, well, not necessarily the Marines, I guess, but like the Army, for example, with like distress cards or whatever the hell they're called now.
yeah,
And it's like, that's softer than what we had in the Air Force. Air Force basic training,
Yeah.
I think you maybe
8
agree.
weeks.
Well, it's probably the easiest.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know what it was like
by
in the
far,
90s, but if they're doing that in the Army, like what the hell is it like in the Air Force?
I don't think it
now?
matters at what time. The Air Force has always been like the shortest period of time, basic training wise. Now, that being said, a lot of our tech schools are longer than the other branches because they're more, some of those
they're
Some of
literally
those
more
occupations
technical.
are technical,
Yeah.
and so there's just a lot more information that
Which is
learn.
better.
I was wrong. Walmart's actually larger than the U.S. Armed Forces.
Is it what?
So,
All combined.
so currently there are 1.4 million active personnel as of 2022. Guess that was the last time they reported
okay,
Department of Defense status. So let's say
so we
1.5 million.
downsize, and we know that.
Yeah,
we
1.5 million,
and
right?
we know also the military ebbs and flows as well, goes
Yeah.
ups and
Do you
downs.
want to take a guess how many Walmart employees just in the U.S.? They did preface that because apparently they use overseas workers as well, but within the United States,
No clue.
2.1 million.
Oh my god!
So I was like, never
Well, you
mind.
think
So it's
about-
Walmart
Wow.
and then the U.S.
you gotta look at like the distribution. Like, what are they considering? Like the
That's
so
true.
they have their own brands and stuff too. Are they
Oh,
considering
that's
people to
true.
work for their brands?
Is
I-
this
yeah.
every company that's tied to
Yeah.
Walmart? Is like all the things that they're, or is that Walmart? Like your title is Walmart employee.
Yeah, does your paycheck say Walmart or does your paycheck say subsidiary of Walmart?
Yeah. Are you a
I don't know.
subcontractor? What are you?
'Cause
Interesting.
I asked that question though because, to be honest, I when I was young, I was stupid, right?
Weren't we all?
Weren't we all? I agree.
Yeah.
But
I was.
now that I'm older, I regret having gotten out. Granted, like I probably wouldn't have got with my wife and got married and had kids.
Wouldn't
like
have
I
met
did.
me.
Yeah, would
Total
well,
regret.
by this point, I might have. Who knows? I mean, it's close to 20 years, so who knows what that'll look like. But I don't know, man. It's a very
I wished I would have never gotten out.
it's a very straightforward life.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It is. I mean, you know what you're getting.
I was
My
never
person-
full time.
My personality, though, is I'm a nonconformist, and so it really
Yeah, I was
it's
too at the
really
time. That was my
difficult to
issue.
be in an outfit that basically tells you how to do everything.
Yes.
Like there's a TO for everything.
That's how it was at the time. That's how it was at the time. I was very nonconformist.
Well, in the beginning too, like when you're trying to find yourself, it's a nice thing to fall back on, to have somebody tell you what to do, and you don't
Right.
have to worry about like
Yeah.
how am I gonna
As
live
you're
my life?
finding yourself.
Yeah.
It's a support.
But after a while, you're like, okay, I got my big boy pants on now.
well,
I
you're
think I
you're
can-
married. You want to have kids. Like that's a different stage of your life.
But not just that, but talking about like if you like something straightforward, Air Force is so like I'll talk to Israel sometimes and he'll talk about like warrant officers and stuff. I'm
Mhm.
like, what the fuck even is that, dude?
it's the
Like,
coolest rank
Air
in the
Force
Army.
is so straightforward.
Those are
You're-
helicopter pilots.
you're-
You had to be a warrant
No,
officer to
it's
be a
not just
helicopter.
helicopter pilots. though. They were the SMEs, subject matter experts. So like my favorite,
We're Air Force. We're all subject matter experts.
it's very true. My favorite people in the Army. So I was state guard, which we were weekend warriors, right? So that's why I said like I wish I would have never gotten out because I'm like, my God, I miss the like one weekend a month. I got to forget about everything, right? You got to break from your job. You got to break from everything. It was a break to routine. You get to focus on something else. I don't know how I would have felt doing it every single day, 8 to 5. It might have gotten super
Well,
mundane.
I'll tell you right now that the guard and is a completely different animal than
oh yes,
than
we
active
called it the
duty.
nasty guard for a reason,
Yeah,
right? Like,
it is because I was in the reserves.
oh okay, I
uh,
never did anything after that.
After I got out of active duty, I actually had to cross train because Air National Guard had F-15s, but I didn't have an F-15 or a National Guard base anywhere close to where I lived.
Gotcha.
So I had to cross train, and I cross trained into paint and body, which I went to tech school in Aberdeen Proving Grounds, which is a tank base, Army base.
Would you
very
do
cool.
2 years?
I did 4 years active, and then I did 2 years in reserve.
No, I mean, yeah, 2 years reserve.
Yeah, 2 years.
Because it's 4 and then 2, right?
Yeah.
So you got hazard pay when you were staying in Aberdeen, didn't you? No, the old joke. I told him
It's
about
like
this.
the dorms I had to live in. Oh my goodness.
Okay,
Right?
so I told him about this. The moment. Okay, we're past an hour, so I can cuss too. The moment that I realized I fucked up. Okay. So I had been in I did a total of 5 years. I had a 3-year contract. I did 5. I was going to stay in because I had 54 months time in grade. And I was eligible for warrant officer. I really wanted warrant officer because that was like, those were the coolest guys in the military for me. The guys I hung out with, because like they were weird. It's like they hung out with us as the like junior enlisted because I was a specialist.
They were, yeah.
But they were kind of officers, but they weren't dicks.
I'm just saying, you talk about warrant officers with like Air Force, and they're like, they just look at you like.
It was a weird, When I was in the Air Force, it was a unicorn kind of thing. Like you did. At the time, I don't
they didn't
think
have
they
warrant
had-
officers.
No.
Okay.
Um,
But like, what's the equivalent of that for the Air Force? Like that?
Officers.
No. Okay.
There's
hold on.
no.
Do you
Would you
guys
say
he's
physic-
like a non-commissioned officer. They're like middle management, but
they're officers.
yeah,
They are.
I
don't know
just
how to
remember.
explain
I
it.
just
Like,
remember looking.
they're a commissioned officer, but they're a commissioned officer that does not oversee troops. They are a commissioned officer that literally only does what they do.
I just
So, yes,
remember looking at
helicopter pilots.
It was a like a huge chart showing all the different officer, like all the different branches, like military branches, and it was talking about like the different ranks you could have, and like Army and Marines and Navy and everything. You had like all these weird like branches, and sometimes the branches would branch and stuff. And Air Force was 2 parallel lines.
Yeah.
Officer and enlisted, and it just went parallel all the way up.
Simple.
It was very simple.
I mean, you knew.
So like,
You
I
just
love.
look at your lapel and know.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, if you look at here's
Which is
like
crazy 'cause-
the standard ranks, right? What I love about this is it shows all of the junior enlisted and NCOs and all the officers. Warrant officer isn't even on here.
Mhm.
It's the weirdest. And like a warrant officer 1, I loved it. You didn't call them sir. You called them by their last name. So like a warrant officer 1 was Mr. Bowman. And it was this weird, like officers didn't know whether to salute. It was like just, they were unicorns. Like my favorite guy, he was a commo guy. He taught comms.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you.
Like a civilian advisor or something.
I'll tell you what this.
And then you got warrant officer 2 and it was
listen.
Sir Sheffield. Like that was the coolest dude that I hung out with.
You know what the unicorns were in the military? Civilians. In the Air Force. They were civilians.
but okay,
Because
but
I
they were
would-
always
I- no,
jerks,
no, no,
'cause
no,
they
no.
would whip it out and be like, I actually have an 03 rank. You should salute me. I'm like, I'm not
No.
saluting shit in
there
blue
were
jeans,
times,
bro.
There were times where I'd be doing like finance. You'd have like almost like a customer service thing. Like they come up to you and talk to you. And I had one guy. He came up to me. He's like, "I'm an 07. You know what the equivalent is to that in the military?" And I'd be like, "Civilian."
Yeah. I'd be like, somebody else's wife.
He did not like that.